Tyler Reddick shared his surprise that NASCAR allowed Austin Dillon to act like a wrecking ball on the last lap of the race at Richmond for the NASCAR Cup Series. He expressed his thoughts to Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 yesterday. Let's take a listen to what he had to say right here. This is over on X.
From what I've seen, from what I've personally experienced, I've always understood if you right hook somebody, you're gone for a couple races, you're losing points, you're not getting to finish on track where you did, you get some sort of a penalty. That's the part that I'm struggling to understand. But I mean, I guess I get it. I mean, it ultimately worked out. The three won the race and he's in the playoffs. I just very, very surprised by all of it. It was really, really crazy. I think when you think about this, just out, not just our sport, but globally, we're pretty safe in our cars. I worry about what this does for the young kids watching the sport. My kid watching the sport. My kid thinks it's okay because NASCAR thinks it's okay. And I had to explain to him what happened was not okay. That's the crazy precedent they're setting. My 4-year-old thinks it's okay to right hook somebody, potentially driver's side, into a wall because NASCAR said it's okay. That's what I have a problem with. If what happened last night's okay at Richmond, why would it not be okay at Phoenix to win a championship? Do we really want the guy that wins a championship to right hook a fellow championship 4 contender? They just basically said that's okay. And that doesn't sit well with me. From what
I 100% agree with Tyler Reddick. I think NASCAR needs to take action against this. They said that they would review it. They said they would look at it, but I think it might be a little bit too late. I think I don't think it is. I think they can do it. I think they should have made the decision there at the track. I think he should have been immediately penalized. I think we saw this take place with the Cars Tour in a lower level division where they did indeed penalize Ryan Millington immediately following the Cars Tour race at Hickory, where he did indeed spin out Connor Hall on the last turn of the race there, and he was sent to the rear of the lead lap, and he finished in 14th. Connor Hall also received a penalty as well. He was sent to 13th place as well, to the rear of the lead lap there. I think that is the easy decision. That is what NASCAR should have done. But the fact that they did not take this action, I think Tyler Reddick is 100% right. They are setting a precedent that this is how they want these drivers to act when they get into the playoffs, when they get to the championship. Just wreck people. That's what we want. That's what we want you to do. That's how we're going to operate as a sanctioning body now. It doesn't really matter. We're not really interested in racing at all. Just wreck people, and the last person there is good to go. We are now the sport of demolition derby. We are not engaged in racing. I think that is what NASCAR's message is right now by not taking any action. They can change that. They still obviously have their penalty report that will either come out later today or tomorrow. Usually we see it on Tuesdays, but sometimes we get it on Wednesdays because they take a little bit longer to publish that. So we'll see what they do, but hard to argue with what Tyler Reddick is saying here. Obviously brings up a really good example that his 4-year-old son thinks that it is okay now to just go out and wreck people in order to win races. And he had to explain to him that is not okay. And it is not. I don't think that's okay in any division or sport. And there is obviously a line, right? I love short track racing. I love the beating and banging. I love the fact that NASCAR and late model stocks or even dirt late models, they have fenders that you can kind of really rub people. You can beat and bang. You can do the hit and run. That's part of the sport. I love that. That's one of the reasons why I love the sport. But you can't just wreck people, right? There is a difference between doing a hit and run, moving someone up out of the groove. There is a talent to that than just wrecking someone and then wrecking another guy to win the race. I don't think there is no talent to that. You just run into them, you wreck them, and you drive through it and you win. Whereas like there is a lot of talent where it takes to hit a guy maybe in the right spot, push him up out of the lane and continue. And we saw a class act of that between Brendan Queen and Josh Berry during the Thanksgiving Classic at Southern National. I mean, those guys were beating and banging each other for like 20 laps. Caden Honeycutt got in there towards the end because they were racing each other so hard. He was able to come in. We had a 3-way race. It was just fantastic, excellent racing where they were beating and banging each other, moving people up out of the way, but they weren't wrecking each other. And I think there is a big difference to that. I mean, I can go back and look at someone like Philip Morris. I got to watch him race a number of times at Dominion Raceway, which was my home track a couple of years ago, and the dude was absolutely an expert at just maybe giving people like a slight tap going into the corner, moves them up out of the groove, and then he was able to get underneath them. He was really, really good at that. And Peyton Sellers, it does an excellent job of doing that as well. Obviously, the way that the NASCAR Cup Series is now, it's a little bit tougher to kind of do that, just the way that the cars are built and then this new car. But there is a little bit of talent that's required to do that. And it is something that I think NASCAR should embrace, but they should not embrace this wrecking ball mentality that Austin Dillon clearly embraced, where he just went out and wrecked everyone. And I think if NASCAR does not take action against this, they are telling the field that it is okay to just wreck everyone in order to win the race, wreck people to advance in the playoffs, and ultimately wreck people at Phoenix to win the championship race. Obviously, I have my own issues with the championship format. I hate the whole one race thing. I really like what Luke Soil Late Model Dirt Series is doing. They saw that that one race championship was absolute garbage, and they switched it to a 7-race format, which I actually like because it kind of mirrors what you see in other sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, where you usually have a 7-game series, best of 7 wins. So I kind of like best of 7 winning there too. So that's maybe something that NASCAR could look at from the Luke Soil Late Model Dirt Series and apply to them, or even just go back to the original championship format where basically season-long champion wins. But they're probably not going to do that. So I do like the 7-race chase format, which NASCAR used to have. But anyways, kind of rambling on that, getting off topic. 100% agree with Tyler Reddick. I think he makes some really valid points here. And I think it's really up to NASCAR now. Do they have the courage? Do they have the integrity to make the right decision? Or are they going to tell their drivers that, hey, just go out and wreck people? And that's what we are now. We are now a demolition derby. We are not actually interested in racing. I think it's a very clear decision that they have to make. And we'll see if they make it. But let me know what you guys make. What do you think of what Tyler Reddick had to say? Do you agree with him? Do you not? Do you think I'm completely off the mark? Let me know in the comments below.